Hello guys, today is a fun video because we've got this Revelot Admiral GMT, a GMT diver, and on the 3rd of April there is a special price. It's a limited amount of watches available at a significantly discounted price, and for a few days around the release of this video you're going to be able to get this watch at a nice chunky discount off. So if you really like the look of it, I would snap up because there's 10 colours available. Incredible watch. But before you make a commitment and decide do you like this watch or not, I'm going to share with you my honest opinions. A full detailed review is coming straight up. It's not perfect, there's a few things that you should be wary of, and I think I've been thorough, but I hope you enjoy it. Let's get on with it. I think this is a good one. Now this watch is extremely easy to talk about for two reasons. It's got loads of things that are great about it and a few things which aren't. So that makes it so easy for me as a watch reviewer. First thing we need to discuss about this beauty is, first of all, the price and what are the options, because there's lots to chat about. This watch is released as a Kickstarter. There's a limited amount of numbers available at a very nice early bird price, very special price. For example, this one, which is called the Dark Side C3 Steel, the early bird price is $319 US. Then it's going to go up to 383. So that's the difference. Now's the time to get one. That's obviously if you agree with my opinions on this watch and if this is going to fit in your collection. Already, I would say I think it will, because this has so much value for money. Quickly going to just tell you all the options you can get. Is crazy. I mean, this is, like I said, it's the Dark Side C3 Steel. Then you've got Army DLC, Dark Side DLC, Glacier Luminova DLC, Arctic Luminova DLC, Dune Luminova Steel, Grey Storm Steel, Grey Meteorite Steel, Molten Steel and Molten DLC. The DLC is a black coating. It's a special thing which allows it to faithfully increase the scratch resistance, and the scratch resistant rating for a Revelot watch is 500 Vickers. So that is extremely hard compared to steel, so it's a lot less likely to scratch and it's going to look a lot nicer for longer. Oh, that's a lot to get through. So many options, 10 choices, mental. Amazing prices. The cheapest one is going to have a silicone bracelet, not the steel one like we have here, and the cheapest one you can get is $269, and that is at the current amazing early bird price, again 3rd of April. So what do you get for your money? I'm going to start with the stats and specs because that is what this is. This is a spec monster. I would say the first thing about this is the weight is 188 grams, sized up to me with a 7¼ inch wrist size, so it's quite a heavy watch. The case size here to here is 41mm. The length is 48mm long. The lugs here 22mm, 2mm bracelet taper down to a 22mm clasp, which is a glide lock clasp, which this means you press a button and there's some adjustability there. Nice for quick adjustment. Milled clasp, all stainless steel. The bracelet itself is pin and collar. I'll discuss that a bit more in a bit. Engineer style, and you can remove it quickly because it has quick release spring bars, as you can see here. The thickness, including the case back, the crystal, etc. The crystal is flat, by the way, is only 13mm. The movement inside, this is a dive GMT watch. So inside here is a Seiko NH34. As you can see here, you've got the extra hand, and in this rehort here, you've got the extra numerals, which I will discuss in a minute. For reading a second time zone, and you've got the extra functionality of the GMT, as well as this being a 200-meter dive watch. Screw down crown, which is 6.6mm, so it's a nice solid size. It's knurled and it's also signed, knurled to match the bezel insert, fully loomed and also made with ceramic with a brush finish. The crystal is sapphire with a blue AR coating on the underside. Lovely whirlpool dial design, meant to replicate a whirlpool in the ocean. All watches are steel as a base, 316L with or without DLC coating. The bezel is 120 clicks, unidirectional. So that is a lot to digest already. There's a lot of spec to talk about. So now you know that. This is offering so much for the money. Revelot are known for that. I have never seen a Revelot before, but I've seen enough reviews of their first watch I think I'd seen reviewed was more of a dress watch, and people were raving about how much of incredible value for money it was. And this is no different. I would say, if my first experience with a Revelot watch, it is mind-blowing what you get for your money. But is it a pooper? Does it have a load of problems? That's what we're going to discuss now. So the first thing I'm going to discuss, is only fair, is the few things I've noticed that are a problem. And the first thing I noticed when I wanted to size this up to me was the incredibly fiddly pin and collar system. Pin and collar is good. The reason why they've chosen to use pin and collar is the split pins can break and they're okay for 99% of the time for watches, but pin and collar is, some people argue, is an upgrade. Screw pins, they said there's a risk of the screws coming loose and falling out, but to be fair, I've never had a watch to have that happened to me, so I don't know if that's really a problem. I think you just put a tiny bit of thread lock on there just to help nip it up. Pin and collar for the average person is fiddly as hell because the collar is only on one half of one of these links. It's not in both sides, so when you're pushing it in, very easy to potentially lose that tiny sleeve which goes on the inside of one of these links. So you've got to make sure the little sleeve which grips against the pin that goes in is in there and lines up, so when you slot in the links back together to size it back up for you, it's easy to lose it and it's fiddly. The way I look at it is once it's done, and then you just never have to do it again. So just bear that in mind. It's a bit fiddly, and that's coming from me. And I'd like to say I know what I'm doing. Next thing I've noticed, which for me is the biggest deal breaker for this colourway, is this inner rehort, the chamfered chapter ring, if you will, on the inside here. Having red against black on this colourway is literally impossible to read. I really can't read it. I'm so sorry to Revelot to say this, but it is really bad. I just cannot get my eyes to tune in to see that. So if I want to see the second time zone, the unique selling point of this watch being a GMT diver is, oh, second time zone, I want to read it, just can't. The good news is, I'm going to choose another colourway. I've already highlighted on my list here. Here are all the ones where it's just literally not a problem, in my opinion, for legibility of reading the numbers in this rehort, down to the colourway you choose. The ones I think are fine, Army DLC is fine, Glacier Luminova DLC, Arctic Luminova DLC, Dune Luminova Steel, and Grey Meteorite Steel. All of those, I would say, for the legibility of the numbers in this extra ring in here, completely fine. Yes, they're small, but colour is important for legibility. For those of you who don't like heavier watches, this is a fairly heavy watch, but I actually really enjoy wearing this watch. It's very well balanced, but if you don't like a watch which is approaching 200 grams, this with its steel bracelet might be a bit heavy for you. And lastly is a tiny nitpick. I did notice there was one tiny speck of dust under the crystal. I can't pick it out on camera, but that's the only thing I've noticed. And other than that, the other criticism would be the lack of taper on the bracelet. As you can see, it is a big chunky beast. Like I've said before, it's very comfortable. Now has come the bit where it's very easy to talk about, and that's the positives. I'll start from the front and work my way around because there's so many. Bezel action, beautiful, light, crisp, no wobble or bounce or play or anything unpleasant. It just feels so good. It's got that fidget factor and really lovely knurling on here. It looks lovely, lovely satin finish, very well machined, pleasant to touch and to rotate, really good quality bezel. And for me, that is a good sign of build quality. Next up, specification, everything, the sapphire crystal, ceramic, the steel, everything is really good specification. That includes the movement, which is running beautifully in here. I've had it on my time grapher. It's running extremely nicely, and I just love the fact you've got a reliable, serviceable movement in there, and albeit not as legible as it can be, it's still fun to have that extra functionality of having a GMT time function, which I'll quickly show you now. So we unscrew this lovely knurled crown, we pop out to the first position, and then you rotate this way, so clockwise, and you can see the GMT hand, it pops around to the next time zone, and you get it to go to whatever time you want to reference to. And this is called a caller GMT movement or an office GMT. And what that means is your main hands are your home time, and the other country that you want to refer to quickly you have in reference to this inner ring here. I use Canada time because that's where my family are in Canada, and so I know, if I could read it better at a glance, what time it is in another country. The most common GMT movements that are affordable and available many times when you get a mechanical GMT movement in a watch is this type of movement, and for many people that is perfectly acceptable and appropriate. Next one is the loom. It is bananas on this watch. Not literally, because that's not what loom is made of. It is extremely good quality. It's really well applied. It glows like a torch. And the fact that everything is loomed is so lovely. It's really good. While we're here talking about loom and the dial, I love this whirlpool design. And then they've done something really fun, and they call it like a radar style, with the design of the hands look like jet planes, and then this crosshair design through the 12, 3, 6 and 9 markers. It looks like the screen of a radar. It's very chunky, military style feel, naval ship, if you know what I mean. The angular case complementing that, well, I'll get to that in a minute. So all of that combines to make this front part of the watch just look so unique and fun, and it actually helps this watch be extremely legible for timekeeping because of the lovely big, bold, brushed and polished hands, really clear and contrast against this really fun play with the light style Whirlpool dial, and legibility is extremely good, specifically for the main timekeeping, not for the GMT. And then you've got the date down here at the 6 o'clock, which I love. So you've got symmetry there. Lovely logo, bit of red to add there, some splash of colour. It says Admiral GMT, which is the name of the model of the watch, and then automatic 200. Just enough information. Case finishing, another positive. Not the best in the world I've seen, but at this price it's perfectly acceptable. Lots of brushing, not much polishing. Gives it that military sort of look, and really helps saturnise the look of the watch, because this has really got a sort of naval ship look to it. It'd be cool if this had a full DLC in a dark grey or something instead of black, so it looked like a naval warship or something. Elements of Zelos about it, maybe Doxa, but I would say more of a Zelos. Really fun and playful case design. It's not paying homage to anything, it's its own thing, and I just think that's incredible, and it really suits this fully brushed engineer style bracelet, which just, again, the brushing plays with the light in a lovely way, subtle. The finishing of the brushing, again, on the bracelet is so lovely. The clasp as well. While we're talking about the clasp, I like the fact it's got this quick adjust here, so you press this lever here and this slides in and out very easily. It's a bit stiff at first, but it's loosened up nicely. That lovely Whirlpool design with the Revelot logo in the middle, and some details about the watch itself, of course, going around the outside. Really nice. Lots of detail on a watch of this price. We've also got the logo on the crown. We've got continuity, we've got logos everywhere, it's a fun name, the branding I think is spot on. I think the build quality overall is incredible. All the tactile things are beautifully done. It's hard for me not to give glowing praise for this watch. And would I recommend one? 100%. I would go rush now and buy one, because it does everything. If you want this type of watch, you can wear a 41mm case size, which is not too chunky. It's got a bit of wrist presence, get it at a better price, and there's 10 different ones to choose from, varying in price, and the top whack one, which I love the most. Gorgeous contrast between either a white dial or the lovely turquoise blue colour with that black. DLC case. It is such a fun watch, and what else can you get that looks like that at this price with this spec? So thanks for watching, guys. Do hit the subscribe button. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and you want to see more. Hitting subscribe and the old notification bell means you can come back and see me again. I release content regularly, and I look forward to sharing a variety of stuff with you guys. It's been a pleasure. Bye for now.